This Saturday afternoon, a beautiful Saturday, 80 degrees. We appreciate you tuning in wherever you are on ESPN Plus. First pitch, low and in to Talon Edwards, and we're underway. Edwards hitting .330 on the year with 3 home runs and 16 RBIs. And that one's high, 2-0 the count.
And Lopez getting the start in the circle today, just trying to look at attacking the hitters, going right at them. Pitch efficiency is going to be crucial for her today, trying to limit as much exposure as possible.
The strike called there. Shane Jackson is the home plate umpire. Chad Steers at first base, and Brady Sanderson is over at third base. 2-1 pitch. And that is high, missed 3-1 the count. Good crowd here on this early Saturday afternoon as the 3-1 pitch. There's a strike and it's called full now, 3-2 to Edwards. First last night, UCF with a 12-6 win. First win over Oklahoma State since 2009. There's a swing and a miss, and a good start for Lopez as she gets Edwards on a strikeout to open the game.
This is a great way for Jasenia Lopez to set the tone here, going right at Edwards, who's having a phenomenal weekend, and just getting after them early, especially in the counts. Clutch.
That'll bring up Rosie Davis, the sophomore, hitting .375 with 7 homers and 44 RBIs. 44 RBIs leads the team. Takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. What's it like as a player? You played a game in the night before that goes nearly 3 hours. Both teams probably didn't get out of here until 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So basically about a 12-hour give and take difference there until first pitch.
Yeah, the turnaround, and that's what you train for, though. I mean, yeah, it's a quick turnaround, but I know as a player, if I was playing just a little bit tighter and everything else physically, I typically did a little bit better. It's funny to say that because I think that the more loose and comfortable I felt, typically the results didn't match up with that.
Energy will be a key thing to watch for both teams. The 2-1 pitch. It's up the middle, back to Lopez. Will throw to first in time. And Davis is retired for the second out here in the first. Let's take a look at the Knights' defense. Some tweaks to the defense. There's Deanna Cunningham getting to start at center field. Third different center fielder to start this weekend. With Kotzelneck at left, Izzy Mertez at right, Sierra Humphreys at third, Aubrey Evans at short, Samantha Ray at second, Ashley Griffin at first, Beth Damon catching. Now Amanda Hasler at the plate, swings and misses, and the count is 0-1. Of course, if you followed this series, Addie Simon started Thursday night. Taylor Kittleman started in center field last night. Don't be surprised if you see all of them at some point during this game. This is right. This is a empty the tank type of game tonight for both.
You have to. And again, you got to keep in mind, I mean, there is a midweek coming up, but at the same time, you're playing for the series, and those are the big ones. You got to take care of business every time you step on the field, but now more than ever, the conference matchups are crucial.
0-2 is missed high. Big game for both sides from a Big 12 standing standpoint, trying to move up in the standings in the top 5 seeds, but also from a resume standpoint. Oklahoma State in the mix to host UCF. They believe maybe with a strong finish, they could get in the conversation to host. With a 1-2 pitch. It's 2-2 to count. And this whole weekend has felt like a regional postseason, which for this young UCF team, I think has been very valuable. 2-2 the count. It's high, 3-2. Of course, both teams will have a midweek. UCF will be at Stetson on Wednesday night. Oklahoma State will host Texas on Wednesday. Big games They're all big at this point, and that's outside of a walk to Hasler with 2 outs here in the first. So a 2-out walk to Hasler. And that'll bring up Carly Godwin will come to the plate. But certainly Lopez close there on that 2-2 pitch. Didn't get the call. Now she's got one on with Godwin, the sophomore. Takes strike 0-1 the count.
Talk about the closeness of that 2-2 pitch and just knowing the importance of every pitch, every spot, because one pitch can make a difference. It's not going to win or lose a game, but can definitely impact it. And we've seen the free passes being the difference maker on the weekend overall, Eric. And when you have pitches like this that are just so close, you've got to be able to capitalize on that. And you see Lopez initially, the reaction there, thinking that she was going to get that call third strike, but umpire clearly doesn't like it. Not sure where he wants it.
She went around there, did Godwin. The count is 1-2. So the count is a ball and 2 strikes to Godwin with a runner at first, 2 outs. One-two pitch. It's outside for a ball. 2-2 the count. You mentioned, of course, walks really aided UCF in the Thursday night game in that 7-run inning for Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State last night, 5 walks in the first inning. Wild stat. But both teams struggled last night. A lot of the low pitches, Alex, were not called for strikes.
That's the difference of just kind of knowing the zone and having to adjust to the human element or the factor there that is somebody calling behind the dish, and the zone can change, unfortunately.
Godwin pops it up foul.
Maybe in softball at some point we'll start getting that automatic strike zone. I don't think we're anywhere close to that, but maybe one day.
I mean, they're barely scratching the surface on baseball there.
Hey, a girl can dream.
So clearly you're in for this. That's the interpretation I'm getting. 2-2 the count. Got her. A strong first inning for the freshman Yesenia Lopez with 2 strikeouts. Knights will come to the plate when we return.
Ball game there. That was a big win. Then UCF turns around the next day, scores 9 in the first. Again, like, it's just like which team is going to show up, and I think that's exactly what Coach Ball Malone keeps asking herself as she puts these lineups together.
Aubrey Evans takes ball 1. She hit twice in the first inning last night, did Aubrey Evans. Walked in that inning and then hit the grand slam in the bottom of the first to highlight that 9-run first. The 1-0 was missed 2-0. That was the most runs UCF has scored in the first inning since 2020, when they scored a ton against Tennessee up in Clearwater. There's going to be Tampa. It was a USF tournament. That is foul right to the right side of the press box. What do you think the Knights have to do different here today than they did against Malin on Thursday?
I think on Thursday, UCF was just swinging at a lot of balls, and that's what Ruby Malin is really good at, the drop ball, something down in the zone that gets a lot of ground ball production. And UCF wasn't making her bring that pitch up. They were just kind of falling victim to it, just hitting weak ground balls. Nobody able to stay disciplined in that approach. And we talked to Coach Ball Malone about that in that in-game interview. Was, what do you want to see? She goes, we've got to commit to our plan.
Aubrey ahead of the count, 3 balls in a strike. And she takes a leadoff walk. So just like last night, Aubrey Evans opens the bottom of the first with a walk. She hit that home run off Riley, home run last night. A ball that nearly hit me, Alex. That was out of the outfield. That ball was like to the couple of feet away from me. Her boyfriend caught the ball.
Did he keep it? Did he give it back?
I didn't ask questions. I stay away from those controversial topics. CeCe Humphreys at the plate. Sierra gets a base hit into left field. And the Knights with 2 on, nobody out here in the first. Humphreys, who had the only hit against Malin on Thursday night, gets one here in the first.
Sierra Humphreys doing a good job continuing the streak here, getting something going early in the ball game. It is clutch from her, one of the best hitters, if not the best, in this UCF lineup. But I like the movement of Aubrey Evans in the one hole and then Humphreys hitting behind her, because it gives Sierra Humphreys an ability to get in at bat with people on base.
Kotzelnick takes a strike. It's 0-1 to Stormy.
Eric, I'm going to give you some homework for the week until I see you again next week.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
How many games have we called together this season for UCF where the lineup has been the same, both offensively and defensively?
Foul pitch there for Kotzelnick. You mean how many consecutive games?
No, not consecutive, just in general. Same lineup, same defensive lineup.
Oh, boy.
So we're going to have to go back through our notes.
It could be a lengthy project.
I know.
It's a lot of games. You don't realize you and I have worked a lot of games.
Looking at my whole scorebook right now. I'll work on it, too.
The 0-2. It's missed outside. Well, remember Coach Ball Malone reminded us this week, they don't have a position player that played the same position last year in this team. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
To your point, Kotzelnick has played in left, in right, and at second base this year. Aubrey Evans played second base last year, now in shortstop. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count to Kotzelnick against Malin. Got her. Ruby Malin gets her first strikeout of the day. First out. Here's the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the night's Cowgirls defense, excuse me. Look at it right there with Delgadillo in center field, with Gorsuch in left field, with Lexi McDonald at right, Talon Edwards at third, Bloodworth at short, Rosie Davis at second, Carly Godwin at first, with Hasler catching. Damon takes low. Ball 1 to Beth Damon. 279 with 7 homers and 28 RBIs. Had an RBI single in the win on Friday night. It's here with 2 on, 1 out. Swing and a miss. The count is 1-1. Damon, a true freshman. Facing a 1-1 count from Malin. That's upstairs, 2-1. Two and 1 the count here to Beth Damon. That is missed, and it's 3-1. You get the sense both teams trying to find certainly their rhythm early, especially that strike zone.
Absolutely, and that's the key that Malin was getting working in her favor the other night, was just attacking early in the count and getting UCF to swing at pitches that weren't in the zone.
Well, she walks Damon there, and the bases are now loaded with 1 out.
And that discipline already in this ball game has been completely different for UCF, an absolute 180 for this offense, just knowing that, hey, they do look more patient in the batter's box. They're not trying to force things. This could be a good opportunity right now for the Knights.
Ashley Griffin now to hit, bases loaded, 1 out here at the bottom of the first. First pitch from Malin. Takes a ball. He saw the infield coming in here for Oklahoma State here, Alex. You surprised this early?
No, I'm not. I think that they know that every run is important, and it doesn't matter that, you know, even if you can hold them to a 1 run in a situation like this, you've got to try to capitalize on these opportunities. So if you can get the lead out, you want to take that. You're playing for the play at the plate. I mean, both teams were able to put up big numbers in those big innings that we discussed just a little bit ago, and everything's important at a time like this.
Well, Malin dials that one up and is ahead of Griffin 1-2. Redshirt junior Griffin hitting .294 on the year, but down in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Fouls that one off. Does your approach change at all when the bases are loaded versus just any other scenario, situational hitting?
It shouldn't. I mean, if anything, I'm trying to hone in and lock in on that strike zone just a little bit better, knowing that more than anything, I'm trying to get a ball that I can hit hard somewhere. Can't focus on the result, just got to focus on the process, and that right there is the process.
Well, strike three looking frozen as Griffin goes down on strikes. Big strikeout for Malin to get out number 2.
Huge pitch for Ruby Malin there, painting the outside corner. That one down in the zone, but when you've got 2 strikes, you got to be able to protect.
So Izzy Mertez will come to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Takes the first pitch for a ball. But that was an example where last night that pitch wasn't called, Alex. So as a hitter, that's got to be a little frustrating that one night that pitch is not called, but then the next night early on it looks like it's going to get called.
I don't disagree, but in a 2-strike count, you also have to know enough awareness that you've got to be able to protect. That one is too close for comfort. You're down in the count. I don't want to leave it up to the umpire's hands whether I think it's a strike or not. I still have to be aggressive and fight because it might be too close for comfort.
So as a hitter, your strike zone widens to protect
I don't know that
yourself.
I mean, a little, but it also, you just become aware. And again, becoming aware means I'm behind in the count, and no matter what the situation is, no matter what I feel the pitch is, ball or strike, I know that I don't want to leave it up to somebody else's decision. And so I'm going to try to take matters into my own hands and control what you can control, right? Whether or not he calls that a strike, that's out of my control. But whether or not I offer a swing and try to get a piece of it, fouling it off, that's in my control.
2 balls and a strike to Mertez. Freshman here steps in against Malin. Mertez, did she hold her swing? And yeah, she did. She held her swing, and the count is 3-1. Bases still loaded, 2 outs, and a 3-1 count to Mertez. Pitch, swing and a miss. Mertez chased one upstairs, and the count is full.
And this is what we're talking about, the discipline in the box. Izzy Mertez, the last pitch almost offered, and then this one right here goes up and out of the zone again.
And she strikes out as Malin goes upstairs and strikes out the side to finish the first. Night Strand 3. We're through 1 here in Orlando. No score. Eric gets seniority on that one. There you see the photo right there, the Maley right there. But hey, you know, Sierra's been here a year older, right? That's the advantage. First pitch, ball 1. 1-0 the count. So Michaela Work will be followed by Lexi McDonald and Tia Warsop. 5, 6, 7 for the Cowgirls here against Lopez.
I had somebody pull the seniority card on me just the other day, Elo.
What?
It was you.
Hey, that's true. Well, you mean the chair? You talking about the booth? I mean, that's true. I have sat here in the literally exact same spot since 2007.
And rightfully
I
so.
called your gate when you played here. I was sitting right here. Like, man, we can't get this girl out.
Too funny.
Only one. Did anybody try to get number 11 from you or ask for it, but you had it?
In high school, I didn't get to wear number 11, but
What number did you wear?
actually 8, coincidentally.
You wore 8?
Yeah.
Wow. 1-2 the count to Wart. That's high 2-2. Of course, Sierra Humphreys wears number 8 because of her mom, Krista, who's a 3-time national champion player at Arizona and coached her in travel ball. One of the greats in Arizona Wildcat history. Mid-90s, teammates with Jenny Dalton Hill. 2-2, swing and a miss. And both pitchers throwing some gas and getting some strikeouts. Lopez with 3 already. Here, 1 out in the second.
Sia Lopez doing a great job just attacking the zone, and this is what we like to see. This pitch out of the zone, but gets an aggressive Oklahoma State swinging and missing. That's a big one.
Bring up Lexi McDonald. Pitch outside for about 1-0 to count. Of course, I mentioned Arizona, big series with them in Texas Tech. It's been a wild series there. Arizona took the first game 2-1. Devin Netz with a 2-run homer of Adnasia Kennedy in the first inning was the difference in the ball game. But then yesterday, Texas Tech run rules Arizona 10-1. Just like, it's just every day it's a new day, Alex. I know it's cliche, but it's a new thing every day. There's a swing and a miss there, 2-1 the count. You had BYU come back from an 8-1 deficit in the bottom of the 7th to walk off Utah 9-8. They've won the first 2 games of that Holy War rivalry. It's the 1-2 swing and a miss. Lopez with back-to-back strikeouts here in the 2nd inning, on fire getting McDonald.
Arsenio Lopez back-to-back. Great stuff right here. Going to go down and away on the last strikeout, go up and away on this one, using both sides of the plate. That's great command from the freshman.
So Tia Warsop now at the plate with no one on, 2 out. Takes a strike. Iowa State was down 6-3 in the bottom of the 7th yesterday, scored 4 runs to walk off the Jayhawks to clinch the series. Jamie Pinkerton and Iowa State, 11 Big 12 wins. 0-1. Blooped into left, and it will go foul in front of Kotzelnick at left. And then Arizona State has taken the first 2 games from Baylor in the standings. But Allie, the point is the Big 12 this year has been as wild of any conference you could find, top to bottom.
I think that's what you're starting to see in some of those, in general, the Power 4 conferences, is everybody talks about the parity of the sport, but it really is anybody's game on any given day.
0-2. It's upstairs for a ball, 1-2. I don't envy the committee's job this year. Because, I mean, my goodness, you had Pittsburgh upsetting Virginia Tech, taking a series from the Hokies. That's line and a catch by Griffin at first. How you were doing, and they give you the full support of bringing you out there to do a game.
We've got a week left. Let's see if we can make it happen. And if not now, maybe we can start planning for
that's probably
2026.
Yeah, there you go. They got the broadcast up there. Right away here, bottom of the 2nd. Samantha Ray to lead it off here for the Knights. Followed by Kendall Yarnell and Deanna Cunningham, 7-8-9 against Ruby Maitland. Missed 3-0 the count to Ray. Pitch is missed, ball 4, and a walk to Ray to start the Knights' 2nd inning. 3rd walk allowed for Malin, and for the Knights, they already have more base runners in the 1st inning plus in this game than they did against Malin in all of Thursday night. So Ray gets on, and got now Kendall Yarnell, got the start last night. He's been the weapon out of the bench, leads the Big 12 in pinch hit hits, pinch hit at bats. But they got the start yesterday. It was productive and is back in the lineup, making the most of it. He takes a strike. Hitting .333 on the year for Yarnell. No homers and 3 RBIs. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, and Ruby ahead 0-2. It's amazing how sometimes a tweak in the lineup sparks the entire lineup. Yarnell coming in contributed to that big run support last night. But she gets overpowered that time by Ruby Malin. 4th strikeout for Malin.
And I think the reality is when you're facing a pitcher like Ruby Malin is there's going to be a lot of strikeouts. There was 10 in that first game just on Thursday night, but you've got to be able to just roll with the punches, say, hey, I got to get punched, but I got to be able to get back up and keep fighting. And that's what I want to see UCF make the adjustment with here today is we're going to go down, and that's fine, but how good can we get throughout the duration of the game?
Deanna Cunningham takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Of course, Malin came over from Washington, where she was a 2-time first-team Pac-12 performer, All-American, led the Huskies to the World Series in 2023. from Nebraska, has a great family background. Her dad and her late grandfather played football at Nebraska. Her grandfather was a two-time All-American guard in the late 60s, and Ruby wearing number 66 in honor of her grandfather. The 0-2 was fouled off. Her dad played for Tom Osborne in the early mid-90s. 91 to 95, I believe. Part of the national title teams under Coach Osborne. The 0-2 pitch is high, ball one. Of course, decided to go outside the state of Nebraska, play travel ball and club ball with Jordy Ball. And that was big headlines earlier this year when she outdueled her former teammate Jordy Ball. They won a PGF championship together. Outdueled her 1-0 in a tournament up in Wichita earlier this year. She told me that her mom, she had to calm down her mom because her mom was fired up for that matchup against Nebraska with the family history. And Ruby's like, calm down, it's just another game. She was magnificent. Won Big 12 Pitcher of the Week that week in the National D1 Softball Pitcher of the Week. She gets the strikeout here of Cunningham. 5 strikeouts for Ruby, 2 gone here in the second.
Great pitch again by Malin. That one gonna bounce, and this is what UCF needs to try to limit is the strikeouts on the balls that are not strikes, and we've seen it a couple of times. Even when UCF is ahead of the count, 3-1 count, swinging at pitches out of the zone. Talk about that discipline and the importance of it. It's a game changer.
No doubt. So 1 on, 2 outs. Malin gets a visit from her pitching coach. Try to see, perhaps get a Carrie Everly, pitched of course at Oklahoma State. Helped start this 5 straight World Series appearances that Oklahoma State's currently on. Played at Virginia Tech before coming to Oklahoma State, was a 2-time All-American. Started her coaching career, was at Lipscomb as the pitching coach when John Barfelt retired. Came back home. Now Aubrey Evans takes ball 1. Evans walked back in the first inning. But the Knights had the bases loaded, but stranded it. Ray at first base, 1-0. And Evans lines a big base hit. It dropped in front of Delgadillo. And they're going to send Ray. Ray's coming home. The throw is not in time, and the Knights will take the lead 1-0 on an RBI single by the junior, Aubrey Evans. Knights up 1-0.
Clutch hitting right here by Aubrey Evans. Just lets this ball travel, drives something over the zone that she can get some barrel on, but does just enough to get Delgadillo making the diving attempt out there. Can't come up with it, but Samantha Ray, 2 outs. There's no hesitation from her on the base path. That's great stuff all around.
Fantastic base running from Ray. Of course, a great send from Coach Ball Malone. Great effort by Delgadillo. But Ray with 2 outs, the advantage is you're going. It doesn't matter if she catches it, doesn't catch it. You're going anyway. And once that ball got away from Delgadillo and she tried to dive for it, there was no question they were going to challenge them. And it paid off. So the Knights with a 1-0 lead. Humphreys at the plate. 1-0. It's missed 2-0. And you asked me earlier about my homework assignment about how many times the same lineup are down. I have a feeling Aubrey, if she keeps hitting like this, might stay in the leadoff spot.
I think that I'd be here for it just because I mentioned earlier, you give Sarah Humphreys opportunities with people on base as well, that she's been one of your most consistent hitters in this lineup, and giving her good opportunity here with potential people on base. Aubrey Evans doing a good job swinging the bat right now, so want her to get as many at-bats as possible.
Count is 2 balls and a strike. But you mentioned it, you could tell already it's a different tone from this UCF offense compared to what we saw Thursday night. And I'm sure part of that is the confidence they picked up on from last night, but also the fact, you know, that sometimes that does give you that confidence and momentum into the next day. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Malin dialing it up here. Count is 2-2 to Humphries. CC singled back in the first inning. Of course, her teammates call her CC. That's the nickname. 2-2 pitch. Humphries fouls it off. They, in fact, the nickname CC because her sister, KK Humphries, who was nicknamed, played at Cal State Fullerton and at Oregon. They figured, well, you have a nickname, you can't go with SS and CC in Spanish. That's what you go with. So that's how they decided. The 2-2. Humphries, a little tapper to Edwards at third. Throw to first in time to retire Humphries and the Knights in the second. But not before the Knights get on the board on the RBI single by Aubrey Evans and lead what was a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Both teams on this Easter weekend will be off tomorrow. Both teams will have a midweek on Wednesday. UCF will be at Stetson in DeLand, game you could watch on ESPN Plus. And Oklahoma State will be hosting Texas on the midweek. Of course, UCF next weekend, believe it or not, Alex, final home series of the season. Time flies, Alex. I feel like you and I just got hung out like opening day, calling a tournament. Next weekend, final regular season home series for the Knights as they host the Houston Cougars on senior weekend. You said it off the air earlier. Well, how many games you've called this year?
It'll be after next weekend. I'll have called 53 games. Pretty insane.
I think I want to say I was around in the 40s with as pitches fouled off by Delgadillo. I'm probably around 45. Of course, big game here at the Plex rubber game. Rubber game going on at baseball. UCF won last night against top 25 ranked TCU. They're 2-2 in the top of the third. On that one at John Giuliano Park. Keep you updated on that. 0-2. It's outside for a ball. 1-2 to count. Another great crowd. Again, a lot of people hanging out in the left field lounge from left field to right field. It was super packed last night. And it's packed again here. 1-2, missed there, 2-2 to count. What's impressive here is it's a noon Eastern start time here in Orlando. Tends to get a little hot, Alex, but you can't miss out on good softball in person.
You definitely can't. Everybody wanting a piece of the pie, knowing that the season is coming to a close here soon. Got to get it while you can.
Count is full here. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Megan Delgadillo, the transfer from Cal State Fullerton. Won the Big West Player of the Year back in 2022. Payoff pitch, gets jammed, pops it up. Humphries makes the catch for the first out. Big pitch there by Lopez, who jams Delgadillo there to get the first out.
Now batting number 55, Megan
One gone.
Bloodworth.
Now we got Megan Bloodworth, senior, hitting .330 on the year with 8 home runs, 25 RBI. It's not every day you have a number 9 hitter that has 8 home runs on the year at this point. Shows the power that this Cowgirl offense has. Takes a strike, and I think Kenny Gajewski, he spoke earlier this week, feels that the offense is coming back. Felt that in the Wichita State win earlier this week, it was the best they have swung the bats in weeks. And he feels like they've get those tough outs, and it's interesting he mentioned that. Basically paraphrasing that, because that's something that Coach Paul Malone has been talking about. I've seen her offense have more tough outs. And we've seen that from both of these offenses now in this series.
Well, that's what you want. That's where we talk so much about you don't want to become concerned with the outcome because it's so out of your control. But what you can do is become so immersed in the process. And am I hitting good pitches? Am I barreling stuff up, hitting them hard? It's not whether or not I'm getting on base, but again, control the controllables. It's the key to life. I feel like the older we get, Eric, the more we see that. Same goes on the softball field.
Ball and 2 strikes, the count. It's upstairs, 2-2. Lopez getting the start. True freshman on this Saturday afternoon. 2-2 pitch. Bloodworth pops it up. Foul territory. Humphreys calling off Damon. Makes the catch. Nice play by Humphreys. 2 outs here in the third as Bloodworth fouls out. Good communication there by the Knights there with Damon and Humphreys.
Good communication. That's something that we've seen kind of be in question the last couple of months is priority and the loudness of that communication on fly balls specifically, but like the adjustments, and that's what UCF has done a great job of, in my opinion, Eric, is make the adjustments, have the conversations, and talk about areas that we can get better.
Talon Edwards at the plate. Ahead of the count 1-0. Takes a strike, and the count is 1-1.
What a difference so far, too, for Justinian Lopez. Only in the third inning here today, just through 2 2/3. But you look at her numbers on Thursday night and what she did in that game. One, just about over 3 innings of work, but a lot of free passes, a couple of hits, just earning their way on base in different ways, coming back to haunt Lopez. So has done a great job making that adjustment and figuring it out.
Coach Paul Malone's going to make a defensive change here. Madison Simon's going to come into the ball game. Samantha Ray, it looks like, is going to move to the outfield with Coco Jaimez at second base. Both of these head coaches have made moves defensively all weekend. Last night, Alex, there was a stretch where base, depending on who the hitter was, Kenny Gajewski was moving Warsop and Lexi McDonald going back and forth between left and right field. I've never seen that before, but it was based on who the hitter was. Was there a lefty hitter, righty hitter, also because of the pitching changes. Both of these staffs believe in defense, and they're going to put them in. They don't want to skip a step. 1-1 is fouled off, so you've got Simon at center, Jaimez at second base, Ray at left. In fact, Ray started this inning at center field. They've moved her to left. Kopselnik comes out for now. The 1-2 pitch. That's upstairs, 2-2. But I had never seen that before last night, where literally Lexi McDonald and Warsop, on each at-bat, following hitter, they would switch depending on who the hitter was.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that, just playing for the best stuff of the pitcher, really.
That's popped up. Aubrey Evans calling off everyone, makes the catch to end the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Lopez. We head to the bottom of the third, Knights up 1.
Student Athlete Advisory Committee got involved with back in 2015. Now, this softball team didn't get these jerseys until 2018 for their inaugural Nike N7 field day at Cowgirl Stadium. You'll see that N7 patch on the right-hand sleeve of their jerseys, but it's a reminder of where they came from and what they've built this university and this state on.
Thank you, Hannah. Stormy Kopselnik here to lead off the third inning. Count of 1-1. Reminds me a lot of Florida State men's basketball, has similar jersey colors, and they wear.
All Florida State athletics.
So is it all? Okay.
Yep.
Kopselnik lines a base hit into right center, into the gap. Cut off by Mel Delgadillo. Nice play by her, but it's a leadoff single for Kopselnik here to open the ninth third inning.
The adjustments continue here right now for UCF. Kopselnik takes that pitch over the zone, but a little bit higher than the typical drop ball offered by Malin there. So good job by Kopselnik, dropping barrels, hitting something over the white, driving it to the big part of the park. But yeah, Eric, all Florida State also has started to incorporate a lot of the turquoise color too, kind of supporting the Seminole tribe out of Florida. So very similar stuff. Love to see the history being brought into these universities and the partnerships extended. Really cool stuff.
No doubt. One of the reasons why the Knights go with the Citrus Space U jersey to honor the space program. Nearby here at the Kennedy Space Center. Damon with a bunt. Edwards with a great play That was a good bunt by Damon, but a better play by Edwards. But it goes down as a sacrifice bunt as Damon does it help advance Kotzelnick into second.
Good job on the situational execution there. Beth Damon just sacrificed bunt opportunity, but not badly placed. Edwards coming across, doing the little throw in the run action. Good job of the under control defensive play from Edwards, but good execution from Damon.
Now Ashley Griffin to the plate. Takes ball one, 1-0 the count. Kotzelnick at second base. Pitch to strike, 1-1. So 1-1 the count now to Griffin. One pitch. Griffin slices one into right, but it'll stay fair. A catch is made as Kotzelnick has to hold on the Lexi McDonald catch, and Griffin is retired for the second out here in the third. Runner at second, 2 outs for Izzy Mertez. Will step in. Struck out against Malin in her first at-bat.
You see your infield right there. Everybody kind of shifted back a little bit with 2 outs. Knows that they just have to take care of business. Routine ground ball right now. Now the last play, or the last batter, for instance, you had your corners playing in a little bit more, given the situation at that point. So just kind of changing pitch to pitch, batter from batter. Good adjustments, again, on both sides of the field.
One is a strike, 0-2. Also noticing Delgadillo shying a little bit more towards right center, slightly, over the last couple of night hitters. So there's kind of a gap there and big in left center. Daring her to hit it there. The 0-2 from Malin. Just missed ball one. Loves a chess match between both sides. For Stacy Pastrak, the assistant for UCF, was a longtime assistant at Oklahoma State under Kenny Gajewski. As Mertez hits one into left, and a diving catch is made by Warsack. Tia Warsack with a great catch to end the inning. Knights with a 1-0 lead. We head to the top of the fourth. We hope to hear from Kenny.
Okay.
They're part of realignment this year. And when you think of college softball, this program comes up pretty quickly.
UCLA.
There you go.
Okay.
See, I gave it to you.
Thanks, yeah.
0-1 as Godwin fouls it back. 0-2. But the point is, it just shows you what he has done. And to the point where, you know, people are like kind of grumbling, like, oh, what's wrong with Oklahoma State? Even though they're like top 25 ranked, they're 18 in the RPI. But that's the standards now that have been raised since Kenny Gajewski's arrival. 2. Swing. Ooh, just got a piece there. Godwin stayed alive. Of course, this is the 50th season of Oklahoma State softball. When you think Oklahoma State softball, the first name you come up with is Michelle Smith. It's great. But prior to Kenny Gajewski's arrival, it had been hard times at Oklahoma State. He has brought it to a high level. Swing and a miss. Lopez gets Godwin to strike out. And a big strikeout for the true freshman, Lopez, her 5th of the game.
Huge pitch for Lopez. Again, just big situation here. Runner on second base, only 1 out. You know that Godwin's got a job to do, but Lopez responding masterfully. Still showing us that great command.
So 2 outs now for Michaela Work. Takes a strike, 0-1 to count.
Eric, you mentioned just sometimes people, fans across the country asking questions of, oh, they're not, you know, doing what they've been doing, what's going on? But I watched a really good video the other day just about when you start putting out there and manifesting success and being the best, being at the top at whatever your craft is, whether in business and life and sports, you open yourself up to so much criticism, and just knowing that, hey, criticism and people talking about you in that way or judging what you're doing and why you're not reaching that isn't a bad thing, because it means obviously you're doing something that creates and demands a lot of expectation, which, I mean, you're doing it right. You're doing it well.
Ball at 2 strikes. Here to Michaela Work. Runner at second, 2 outs. One, 2. Inside, 2-2. The count to Work. Junior. Here at a big spot. Well, even here at UCF, the bar has been raised so much that sometimes people are going to wonder what's going on. They've had some of the struggle, but that's a compliment almost when your program has reached so many certain standards. Same here at UCF with Coach Paul Malone. They're trying to make a 5th straight NCAA tournament appearance. Have more top 25 wins than any UCF team has had in program history. Think about that. They've had some good teams. Payoff pitch from Lopez. Line. Oh, what a catch by Humphreys. Makes the catch to end the inning. Both teams showing some leather today. An incredible play by Humphreys.
And Sierra Humphreys showing us just how many moves she's got. That one down the line. Nice little grab up in the air. Good stuff. Athleticism. Sierra Humphreys.
Maddie Simon, 7-8-9. Warsap moves from left to right field with Graff in the game in left field for Oklahoma State, taking over for McDonald, at least for now. The count is 0-1 here to Ray. What pitch? Ray slices it foul. Finetti, 0-2 to count. Tight rubber game here for both sides. Go-to pitch. Takes outside, ball 1. What have you seen from Ruby so far here through the first 3+ innings?
Well, Ruby's fantastic, and I think that UCF just did a good job capitalizing on an opportunity, and there's not been many to capitalize on, and so that's just talking about the dominance right there. You see, that's a big strikeout from Ruby Malin, but that's what Coach Paul Malone said as well, though, complimenting her is, hey, we know she's good. We're going to strike out. We've just got to keep fighting.
6th strikeout of the ball game for Malin. 1 out. Madison Simon down to hit. Swings the pitch, fouls it off. Godwin makes the catch there, the on deck circle. Excuse me, there by the coach's box, I should say. And the foul on Jaimez now to hit the 9th spot. We'll hit here with no one on, 2 outs at the bottom of the 4th. Jaimez, the freshman, to step in here with no one on, 2 out against Baylor. Pitch to Jaimez. Away, ball 1. 1-0 to count. It's been interesting to see both teams making adjustments defensively, especially in the outfield. Not taking anything for granted. Delay here. Ruby Malin looks like it's a wrist drink of water. Yep, that's what it is. It is hot here, Alex.
It's definitely hot. Just trying to stay prepared, I think, is the hardest part, because that right there is not a sign of, you know, anything she needs to do different right now. It's kind of everything leading up to this, when our bodies start to have those kind of responses, but just staying tough, keep going. But also good awareness and maturity too. Obviously somebody that's a little bit older in her career, has been around a time or two, knows what she needs.
Two balls, no strikes to Jaimez with 2 outs here in the 4th. 2-0 pitch. 2-1. So you got a lot of the alums and family members out in the outfield. One of the messages they sent out is a happy birthday to Melanie. 2-1 pitch. That was one of the topics that was brought up in the outfield lounge. The other one was a rather controversial one, Alex, that you started it, that people want your input on, which is, you know, pooch picks. The claim by some in the outfield lounge, I'm not going to call names, say that cats are also pooches. Your response?
Ooh, I mean, I'm here for it. Whatever. We can. An animal's an animal. At the end of the day, if it has fur, it's probably one of my friends. So I'm good with it.
You're good with it.
I'm good.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not a cat girl myself, meaning like I don't have a four-legged cat at home, but it's all good.
It's a very divided topic there in the lounge. I got uncomfortable. I had to go into the stands, you know, avoid that.
I'm a fan of animal lovers, so whatever it is, hey, to each their own.
2-2 pitch. Jaime slaps it to left. Right to Graff, who came in this inning, making the catch to retire the side. We're through 4 here in Orlando. Knights is inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. One-0 pitch to McDonald. It's outside. 2-0. There is action in the Knights bullpen starting up. Count is 2-0. And that is called a ball, and it's 3-0. So Lopez down in the count 3-0 here to Lexi McDonald. There you see Caitlin Felton warming up. 3-0 pitch. Strike, and it's 3-1. Xenia Lopez, the true freshman, part of the Puerto Rican national team in 2023. The Pan American Games in Chile. 3-1 missed. Outside, ball 4 and a leadoff walk to McDonald here in the 5th. McDonald gets on. She's going to get pinch run for here. Cowgirls here. See what they do now with Warsop. Probably was one of their better bunters on the team.
At first base for OSU, number 1, Rachel Hathoot.
We got Rachel Hathoot to pinch run at first base to transfer from New Mexico. Knights expecting the bunt here. It's Warsop. Missed outside, though. There's 1-0 the count. Got to be careful, though, if you're the Knights. You don't want to get too cute here. A tough situation here with Warsop trying to sacrifice. 1-0 from Lopez. And again, Warsop takes, and it's 2-0.
Right now, Lopez just looking to attack the zone. Coach Bob Malone gonna call timeout. Just take a second.
Might make a move now. Mentioned Felton was warming up earlier. She's definitely gonna look like maybe they're make a move unless she was double checked, but she looks at the bullpen here. That could be it for Lopez, who walked. Yep, and it is. It's going to be a pitching change. So we'll tell you about the new Knights. New pitcher for the Knights, junior Caitlin Cochran coming in relief here in the top of the 5th.
Cochran getting the ball today has worked a lot on the mental game and coming in these high pressure situations, trying to just rein it back in, keep the situation under control. But I think it's going to be her off speed so far this afternoon, Eric, that's going to be most different than Lopez, who came in as that more high velo kind of pitcher. Just looking to come in here and keep the Cowgirl hitters off balance with something a little bit slower.
I mentioned earlier today was Melanie's birthday. Melanie is Caitlin Cochran's mom. So happy birthday. Caitlin pitching in relief. In a big spot here. Runner at first and inherits a 2-0 count Tia Warsaw. I think Coach Bowen can sense there maybe Lopez getting a little tired. Remember, she pitched 3+ innings in relief on Thursday. The 2-0 by Warsaw does the bunt. It's foul. It's 2-1. The bullpen is still up and running for the Knights. This might be a matchup by matchup situation the rest of the way here. This kind of felt like a by committee day. Knights not at full strength from that standpoint.
The Malvin
got enough they feel arms raised. 2-1. The count. There's the butt by Warsaw. It's a good one. Griffin will throw to first in time. Get to Jaime's covering it first, but a nice job by Tia Warsaw to get the bunt down. Advancing the runner half hoop to second with 1 out. So now runner at second for Megan Delgadillo.
Number 37, Megan Delgadillo.
Delgadillo to hit.
Say that one 3 times fast.
Well, sure does. Fullerton transfer. Takes one up and in, ball 1. It's probably why most of the players and their coaches call her by her nickname, which we'll tell you here after this pitch here, possibly. The 1-0 pitch. Is ball 2. Hannah, if you hear me there, what is Megan Delgadillo's nickname?
Is it cheese?
It is cheese. That is correct.
It's like Jeopardy.
There you go. Because she smiles all the time. That's why they call it nickname cheese.
Good job, Hannah.
Thank you.
2-0 pitches to strike.
Put her on the spot, Eric. Man,
Why, I miss Hannah. I haven't seen Hannah in forever, you know?
good thing she's ready. Don't gotta get ready if you stay ready. You hear me?
Walked into the booth and I saw her. I'm like, hey, where have you been? 2 balls and a strike to count. That's Miss Lowe, 3-1. Haven't seen you in weeks, Alex. I mean, yeah. Appreciating the company that I share.
The gang's back together.
Cochran here down in the count, 3-1. Do have an open base here. Get 1 out here in the 5th inning. Elkins, one of the Knights pitchers in warming up. Looks like Macy Miles, too, who pitched in the Thursday night game. That's a little bit outside, ball 4, and Megan draws a walk. It's 2 on, 1 out. 2 walks in the inning for the Knights. As you mentioned in the open, the free passes has been a key storyline on both sides in this series. It hurt UCF on Thursday night. It certainly hurt Oklahoma State last night.
When a team doesn't have to earn their way on base with a hit, it definitely helps their cause. They're trying to push some runs across the board. So every out, every pitch is super important.
Ball hit to third. Backhand by Humphreys, but they're going to call it foul. Oh, a foul ball. A break for the Cowgirls because Humphreys had a shot to get a double play. Let's see if this was the right call, being a foul ball.
Definitely a close one. Sierra Humphreys does such a good job playing a solid third base. I do agree that she was able to keep her body mostly in fair territory, but the ball was over the line.
Good angle there. Humphreys wanted that badly.
Absolutely, but that's what you're trying to feed your defense for, is something like that. Something hard to the pull side with a double play opportunity on the line. You'll take it.
So 0-1 the count to Bloodworth. It's in the dirt, ball 1, 1-1 the count. One pitch. Bloodworth pops it up. Shallow left. Aubrey Evans coming over from short to make the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. 2nd out of the inning, 2 outs here in the 5th inning. And the Knights still in this jam, but a big out for Cochran. So top of the order now, Talon Edwards will come to the plate with 2 on, 2 out.
Big pitch for Caitlin Cochran there, getting the big out. Aubrey Evans doing a good job, just a lot of range that she's able to cover.
First pitch. Off-speed changeup. That's the pitch that Cochran, when she hits that, is. Oh, anyway, we saw her last year when she broke out. That was the pitch. Hasn't been as consistent with it this year to this point. The 0-1 pitch. It's outside, ball 1. Humphreys comes over to talk to Cochran here. With a ball and a strike to count. 2 on, 2 out here in the 5th. One. That's low. Good block there by Damon. It's 2-1. Of course, Caitlin Felton went the distance last night, threw a lot of pitches last night. You just wonder how much does she have, if any, available. That's what I mean by Knights may not be at full strength for the pitching staff today that they normally would. A little short-handed. 2-1. Edwards flies to center, but playable. Catch is made by Simon, side retired. Cochran gets out of the jam. Keeps the Knights lead at 1 as we head to the far. She's the difference in this game, Alex.
Well, and you never know when your number's going to be called, and this one in the 2nd inning has been the biggest so far for UCF and Oklahoma State today. Not a whole lot of action in a game that's really been dominant in the circle there. So Aubrey Evans getting the opportunity, getting the job done, but Samantha Ray on the base path was lights out.
Yeah, Ray scored all the way from first with 2 outs on that 2-out RBI single by Aubrey Evans, and that was in the 2nd. That's the difference in the ball game. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for UCF. No runs, no hits, no errors for Oklahoma State. B. Malin still out there for the Cowgirls. Delivers first pitch ball to Aubrey, who has walked and singled against Malin today in this rubber game of this 3-game series. Huge game from a conference standings, from a resume standpoint, hosting possibilities. I mean, this is fun, right? This is as a player, right? This is why you come at this level. You want to play in big games like this.
Absolutely. You want to play in the big moments, get the opportunity to play on the biggest stages against the best teams. That's what you work hard for.
Evans swings and misses there to count as 2-1. And these are valuable innings, pitches, I think, for a team like UCF, which has a lot of freshmen that haven't seen this at this level, right? This could pay off for them come May, to be in series like this. As Evans swings and hits it foul down the right side, out of the reach of the Cowgirls defenders. 2-2 the count. Of course, these are 2 teams that aren't shy of playing people. UCF with the 8th toughest non-conference schedule in the country, 12th overall coming into this weekend. They are on track to shatter the program record for the toughest schedule in the history of this program. Evans pops it up. Bloodworth makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Oklahoma State has the 4th toughest non-conference schedule in the country. They're also in the top 12, top 13, I think top 10 actually, in overall schedule strength. So these 2 staffs like to play people. Of course, Oklahoma State has only played a handful of home games this year. They've been on the road a lot. Humphreys, some of it not by their choosing. They lost 2 games to some wildfires in the Houston series a few weeks back. As Humphreys takes a strike, 0-1 to count. These 2 head coaches like to challenge their teams, and it feels it'll pay off as the year goes on. I think you've seen that in the past with these 2 programs.
I think that's part of it too. Some of the stuff I've learned now on this side of the field is when you're looking at scheduling and trying to build yourself a tough schedule, teams don't always want to travel to you because they're like, what, you want me to travel to you and you're going to try to beat me? Like, I don't know. So you got to kind of give and take a little bit. And so part of that for Coach Gajewski is probably, hey, we want to play you, but we'll come to you as well. We'll help you out, get you, whatever those opportunities are to sell tickets and concessions, whatever that is to help the program. But when you're a top dog like Oklahoma State has been for the last couple of years, you just got to kind of manage that.
2-1 pitch to Humphreys. Missed ball 3. An example of that, back in 2023, UCF in their final year as a member of the American Athletic Conference went to Stillwater to play in a tournament that hosted by Oklahoma State that also featured Arizona State, a 3-team tournament just to challenge themselves. And both of these programs have become frequent teams in the Clearwater Invitational second week of the year, which is one of the marquee tournaments of the regular season. Last year, remember, UCF played both at the Clearwater and at Mary Nutter. The payoff pitch. Humphreys drills one into center field. Back goes Delgadillo, makes the catch as she crashes against the wall and gives a fist pump. What a catch by Delgadillo for the second out here in the 5th. And there's that cheese smile right there.
I mean, what a good job by Sierra Humphreys. This has been the hardest hit ball so far of the day, but Delgadillo, look at how she's just going to keep going, full commitment there, approaching the warning track and absolutely no hesitation, going right into the fence. That's a great defensive play.
And she loved that. Now, Coach Bubble had a word with the umpires, and now the umpires are going to get together here to talk about something. I'm wondering if it's to see if she cleanly caught the ball would be my guess, maybe. To make sure she didn't trap the ball. It's the only thing I can think of against the wall, maybe. Unless, I'm not sure what else it would be, the conversation. Whatever the conversation, it has to do with something with the, looks like they're looking at their lineups.
I was going to say, I don't feel like it's that. I think it could have to be some kind of substitution.
Yes, that could be what it is, because Warsop re-entered the game in this inning in right field, but was she reported in? That's got to be what it is. I think you're right, Alex, because Warsop came in, re-entered to right field, would be my guess is what they're discussing. We'll see. The umpires now talking to Kenny Gajewski.
Yeah, and Coach Gajewski is not happy.
No.
So I'm thinking it's something
That
like
is exactly what it is. Well, reported. He claims, and he is upset. So, yeah, he is saying that Warsop was in the game the whole time. But the reason that's significant is that gives Humphreys a new life. Yeah. So Coach Paul Malone catches Gajewski there, saying, I don't think he checked her back in. Now Gajewski, those claim that she's been there and there the whole time. So now the umpires go back and they're huddling again. The question is, did Kenny, as a coach, you got to report your players in, even if they're re-entering the game. If you pinch hit or pinch run, remember Hafu came in to pinch run in that last half inning. But I don't think it's Warsop that they're certainly talking about. She kind of had the sack bunt. Hafu came in, pinch ran for McDonald.
Well, that's what I'm looking at too, is who all was substituted for who, because Coach Gajewski there is not happy.
He is livid. He's got to be careful. He might get tossed here if he doesn't calm down, but he is livid. And I think if it's Warsop, I can understand. There he is. He's been tossed. Kenny Gajewski has just been ejected in this game, and he's going to get his money's worth. Coach obviously is very upset, and if it's about Warsop, I can see why he would be upset. She has been in the whole game. But he is livid. And he is letting Shane Jackson hear about it. And he is still upset. He's being refrained here from the umpire Chad Steers trying to stay in front here, but he is not happy at all, and I think he's probably not happy that Shane Jackson's not even looking at him. He's probably trying to talk to him. And you see he handed there the clipboard to Greg Bergeron. Well, and that would assume would be who would take over here. No, or it could be Vanessa Shippey now, who's coming out. And look at Kenny right there walking out. He is livid. That is, and Kenny doesn't get that fired up. And Vanessa Shippey's making her case about it's got to be about Warsack they're talking about.
Well, that's what
right?
I'm wondering, because the play didn't involve, at least to my knowledge, Delgadillo, who reported the out. And so that's my thing, Eric, is if the play doesn't involve the athlete that was not reported back in for the substitution, I'm not sure that the hitter gets another opportunity. Now, maybe their next at bat, that player is reported under an out on the offensive side, but
now Coach Paul Malone is talking to the home plate umpire, so this is kind of going a lot of different directions here. And so whatever has been said now, Alex, I think you may have brought up, let's see, now Coach Paul Malone is upset.
That's yeah, I'm just not sure what.
Is it about perhaps whether Humphreys is allowed to hit back again or not? So this game's had a little bit of everything here. The only changes we saw is Ward maybe back to DP with Hathu. And then you have Warsaw back at right field. But again, Kenny's argument was that she was in the game, and now whatever has been saying, now Coach Beaumont's not happy about something. So neither coach is happy. Meanwhile, Kenny Gajewski's out there watching in the bullpen, I believe. Is that the section there? Yeah. There you see Tia Warsaw. I don't know if she's in, to Kenny, if it's her, I think Kenny's got a point. She never left the game. There's Kenny, guys. He's by the outfield. He's by right field. That's a first for me. I don't think I've ever seen a head coach watch the rest of the game from the right field, but you can, obviously, now.
Well, the couple people that would even be involved in the play potentially between Delgadillo, Warsaw, anything like that, were not substituted.
Yeah, clearly there was something that wasn't substituted correctly, whether it was, could it have been Hathu pinch running? I don't think that would be the case. Nonetheless, Humphreys is going to hit the count, so she will hit after all that. So it's a do-over. And Humphreys draws a walk. What a sequence there. Well, there'll be plenty to talk about after the game. Carrie Eberle now will come out, and I think part of this is to settle down Ruby Malin, who's had to sit through, kind of stand through all this. Look at Guy, he is still living.
I think no matter what happens in the calls on the field, you just want the calls to be correct in the game. More than anything, if it doesn't go your way, sometimes fine, but if it's not the right call, that's really what brings out the elevated emotion and frustration for these coaches, and understandably so. I mean, we saw it a couple of weeks ago with Coach Walton on the game that Madison Shipman was calling and had to go back and kind of clarify, because no matter what the result is, you want the game to be played and called the proper way.
We have seen it a few occasions this year where I think umpires sometimes lose track of players that have re-entered games, players that have been reported. Sometimes they forget to write things down, Alex. I've seen that heard throughout the country. Wonder, again, I don't know what happened here, but it is certainly.
Now batting with a runner on first, number 44, Stormy Potzelman.
Nonetheless, runner at first. Kopselnik swings and misses. And the count is 0-1. But the gist of it basically is Coach Bellone said Oklahoma State didn't make a proper substitution. Kenny Gajewski disagreed. That we know. That we could clearly know. Count is 1-1. And what it is now, we're getting word here. What it is Graf is in left field. They're claiming she didn't re-enter the game properly. Remember when she came in earlier in the game, that they didn't report her. Kenny Gajewski disagrees. So that apparently is Graf is the left fielder who they're talking about when she came into the game earlier, Alex. That's the word I've just got received. Appreciate the communication there. 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss by Stormy Kotzelnick. But that's where the gist of it comes, is Graf, was she reported in, and that's where the disagreement takes place. Strike 3 looking, Kotzelnick not happy with the call there from the home plate umpire, Shane Jackson. She is upset. Felt that was outside, but it's a strikeout looking for Malin, and there's 2 outs here in the inning.
And Ruby Malin responding nicely. That pitch, that's a tough one, but again, in 2 strikes, man, you've just got to get your battle cap on and go to work, fight off that pitch. Stormy Kotzelnick wasn't happy with that call either, but that's where you just ask for consistency from the umpire, just trying to manage the emotions, the change, the elements, everything. There's a lot of passion and excitement in the game.
I'm wondering if she got a warning there. Or not, or did she? It was a warning towards Stormy Kotzelnick. So emotions going real high right now. Meanwhile, it's 1 on, 2 outs here at the bottom of the 5th with Beth Damon at the plate. Damon will be talked to Coach Bumlin. Well, Alex, you can't say you and I don't do boring games, do we?
No, never.
You see Ruby Malin.
Let's take another look at the strikeout here. You got Stormy Kotzelnick, sees the pitch, rides it in. Look how low in her legs that she gets, and then on the strike 3 call, turns around, has a full-blown conversation with the home plate umpire, speaking her disagreement with that pitch.
She got a warning for that. Damon takes outside for a ball 1. But it's kind of what I mentioned earlier. Last night, that call would have been called a ball, the way it was being called. Again, at different umpires, different strike zones, which is a whole other topic we don't even want to get into. The 1-0 to Damon. The strike, but I think that's where sometimes the frustration comes, right? As players, you want consistency throughout. Now, in fairness, today's been different, interesting, nonetheless. A ball and a strike to Damon. Swing and a miss. Malin, meanwhile, is dialing it up here. Trying to keep it a 1-run deficit here. One-two pitch. Damon fouls it off. So Kenny Gajewski again ejected, as apparently they said that Graf came in an inning ago defensively, was not entered properly. Kenny disagreed. He's watching it from right field, trying to see if Malin could get out of this inning, which she does. Strike 3, looking. And Ruby Malin, with back-to-back strikeouts, has 8 in the ballgame. Nice strand of runner. We are through subject here. And I think it's one of those things where clearly Gajewski and the umpires not on the same page there, just as far as whether she was entered properly or not, with all the switching going on when Graf came into the ballgame. Basically, I'm giving you the Cliff Notes version. And I've noticed that Vanessa Shippey is making sure that the umpires are making the lineups there. So this has been wild, nonetheless. Meanwhile, interesting to see Lopez re-enter. She got pulled in the last half inning. and I think probably worked out. Now, what they're discussing here, the umpires, I think are discussing right now is whether Kenny Gajewski, I'm guessing, is allowed to even stay in right field. I'm wondering if that is what it's going on here. Because I think this is going towards facilities, not sure. But while they figure all that out, Lopez comes back into the game, probably working on some mechanics, I would assume, there while they're changed. There's Kenny. I think they're also checking their lineups. The wind has picked up here at the Bucks. So while they, I don't know what they're checking on, but they're certainly having some conversations. Been fun, but so Lopez, whenever we resume here, Lopez will start here. So coming back into the game, Alex, very interesting. Likely working in some mechanics, maybe get it a breather, because she was starting to lose control when she was pitching. When we saw her, and they brought in Cochran in the 5th inning.
I think it's good awareness, just giving her, like you said, a breather, giving her a minute to just kind of check herself and get herself back dialed in. She's been throwing a phenomenal game through the innings that she's been in the circle, and so I think wanting to give her the opportunity to keep that going, but just needed a reset. That's good management from Coach Paul Malone and staff, but also good job by Justine Lopez, just kind of rolling with the punches.
So she will come in the 6th inning. A 1-0 game. In a game that literally has had a little bit of everything. I wonder if they went to look for a rule book. There's another thing I wondered about. I mean, we've seen that happen a couple times this year. We saw that happen at Florida for that Arkansas-Florida game. There was about a half-hour delay because Tim Walton protested a dead ball call. And they went to a rule book. They had to go to the NCAA. That was wild and bizarre. But, boy, oh boy. There'll be a lot of good questions we get to ask in the postgame. If only we had the in-game interviews now, Alex. This is when we need the in-game interviews, right? Although,
fire those things back on up. Let's go.
Not sure, though, that the coaches would be as honest with us if we did that now, in fairness.
These two coaches, I think they would be.
But
I'm here for it, too.
That's true.
I'm in
That's
full
very
support.
true. Greg Bergeron, by the way, is at third base taking over for Kenny Gajewski. What's interesting about that, Greg Bergeron started the year at the third base coach side. Only recently they flipped because Kenny Gajewski felt, quote, he was a fish out of water, and he felt he needed to be back at third base. He just didn't feel comfortable at first. He didn't feel comfortable in the dugout, so they switched. So Bergeron has experience at third base. You got Vanessa Shippey at first base. Rosie Davis is at the plate and is ahead of the count, 2-0. Against Lopez. Davis will be followed by Hasler and Godwin, 2, 3, 4. And now Lopez falling behind 3-0. Now the question is always with a young pitcher, when you take it out of the game, have a lengthy break, you're working on some things, but do you get your rhythm back? Knight's bullpen is still up and running. That's a strike, and it's 3-1. Three and 1 the count to Rosie Davis. Was an all Big 12 all freshman performer a year ago. Takes a strike, and it's 3-2. I'll say this too for Kenny. He's obviously upset with what transpired, but I also think he's trying to light a fire on his team, too. Payoff pitch. And that's ball 4. You can sense the emotions have gone up for Oklahoma State since his ejection.
Well, and you have to appreciate how they've responded. Ruby Malin in the circle was lights out after everything kind of transpired. A couple of strikeout looking.
And Kenny Let's see here. Is he back in there? Yeah, Kenny Gajewski's back in the dugout. Probably to pick up some stuff. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's got to pick up his remaining stuff. So there you go. Meanwhile, walk, runner at first. With Hasler takes ball there, and it's 1-0 the count. What else could happen here?
Don't ask that question.
A ball and no strikes to count to Hasler. The throw to first. Now again, Bergeron has a lot of experience. Was at CSUN under Charlotte Morgan and has coached in college baseball for 25 years under Dave Serrano. One of Kenny Gajewski's best friends. In his first year on the staff, of course, got Vanessa Shippey. 2-0 pitch. Meanwhile, Lopez here still a little wild like she was in the 5th inning. Is falling behind 3-0 to Hasler. Coach Paul Malone comes out, points to Shannon Sale, her assistant, to say, this is who I want to come in the bullpen. They come in relief. As Coach Paul Malone looks like seen enough this time again from Lopez. The question is, who does she call in this time? And it looks like she's going to call her senior. We'll tell you more about Caitlin Felton and the night's pitching change here at a rather emotional, interesting. Welcome back here at the top of the 6th. Caitlin Felton in relief here for the Knights with 1 out and inheriting a 3-0 count.
I'd like to see Felton getting the ball here. Obviously, the experience, the composure, maturity, and the effectiveness that she has had in her senior season has spoken for itself, I think, time and time again with a lot of the honors and awards that she's been namely given in this last campaign that she's got. No surprise to see her getting the ball, Eric. She's been dominant so far.
Was pitched on guts and heart last night. Didn't get help from her defense, but got the win last night with the distance. I think Coach Malone was trying to buy some outs here but felt had no choice but to call her number. And she inherits a 3-0 count, and it's a strike there to Hasler, 3-1. To clear up, by the way, the delay in the start of this inning was indeed about Kenny Gajewski and whether he was allowed to stay in right field or did he have to leave the premise completely. He has left the premise. I would assume he's on the team bus. The 3-1. Swing and a miss, and it's 3-2.
So really the important piece there, Eric, is if we're going to count the outfield as part of the premise, we should also count the outfield as seats or attendance to the game as well. Hey,
I agree with you, Alex. Great point.
Just saying.
The payoff pitch. Foul back. It is interesting because in years past, obviously there's been coaches that have been ejected in this field, but in the past, right field was not as open as it is now. The outfield is not as open. This has only been 3 or 4 years old that it's been open. In years past, it would be covered up. So you could, in theory, hang out in the outfield a few years ago. Not the case now. 3-2. Hasler hits a high fly ball. Deep center field. That ball is gone. It's a 2-run homer for Amanda Hasler, and Oklahoma State takes a 2-1 lead on a 2-run homer by Hasler.
Amanda Hasler takes this pitch and just demolishes it. Talk about opportunity, talk about the emotions high in this at-bat. That's a big one right now, and her Cowgirl lineup is all around her celebrating at home plate. They know that was a big swing. Timely moment as well.
Big home run for Hasler, the transfer from NC State. Perhaps the biggest home run of her Cowgirl career to this point for the junior. Gives them a 2-1 lead. And the first pitch to Godwin is a strike, and it's 0-1 the count to Hasler. That is also the first hit for Oklahoma State in this game, and they made it count. That's fouled off, and it's 0-2. So it is a 2-1 lead for Oklahoma State here at the top of the sixth with all that. The 0-2 pitch. Godwin fouls it off behind us. And the count is 0-2. Big clutch hit for Hasler. The 0-2 from Felton. That's in the dirt for a ball. 1-2 the count. To Godwin. Hasler with her 11th home run of the year. 23rd, 24th RBI of the year. One and two the count. Swing and a miss, and Felton gets the strikeout for the first out here in the sixth. So one gone here in the sixth inning. And again, Felton in relief, and as I mentioned, Knight's not at full strength in the pitching staff today. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be seeing Felton necessarily after throwing last night. But then again, this has been Felton's role all year, pitching in high leverage situations like this. But you got to give credit to Hasler with the big hit. So, you got work at the plate now. And the first pitch is fouled off, and it's 0-1 the count to Michaela Ward. So 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors for Oklahoma State. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for UCF. And a game that's had a little bit of everything. So Felton now trying to settle in. And the 0-1 pitch up high for a ball. A 1-1 count. One pitch for Felton. Count has missed 2-1. So Oklahoma State, this is again the rubber game. They won game 1 Thursday night, 7-0, scoring 7 runs in the 7th inning. Knights win last night, 12-6. 2-1. That ball is hit to left. Samantha Ray under it makes the catch at left for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone.
Good response from Felton ever since big swing by Hasler. Probably wishes she could take that pitch back, but the game's about adjustments and continuing to fight given the situation, no matter what it is. Just got to keep adapting and working with it. But Eric, I could have guessed and bet a lot of money that this game was not going to end as a 1-0 ball game, and so I thought it was going to take more than 1 the whole time, but it was just going to be a matter of, was UCF going to tack on to the lead, or was Oklahoma State going to get that opportunity?
We get the answer now.
Oh yeah, for right now.
Halfhoot now at the plate. Remember, she pinch ran and stayed in the game. Get a hit here with a count 1-1. She was not the player involved in the disagreement whether they were entered properly or not. That was Macy Graff, who apparently was the player in question. They got Kenny Gajewski ejected. You think Kenny Gajewski's watching our broadcast right now? Should we say hello?
I would hope he's watching the game.
He's got to be feeling better now after the Hasler home run. I always did wonder what coaches do when they get ejected.
I would be watching the game.
You would be watching?
Absolutely.
1-2 the count.
But I think what Coach Gajewski did was, like you mentioned earlier, Eric was fighting for his team, fighting for whatever the mistake was, whether it was just a lapse in communication, whether it was on the umpire. Like, he's going to fight for his squad, but it sets the tone more than anything. And you saw how Ruby Malin responded. You've seen now how the offense has responded. Maybe they like the passion.
2-2 pitch, foul back. He was upset about the call, and he'll disagree to it. But I think also, yeah, you're right. It light a fire in Oklahoma State's dugout. Count is 2-2. Went around, Hatford did, and it's a strikeout for Filton to end the inning. But the Cowgirls take the lead on the 2-run homer by Hassler. 2-1, going to the bottom of the 6th here in Orlando. This convo ranked series win in program history. Trying to add to that here against Oklahoma State, but down now 2-1 with Griffin at the plate and a count of 0-1. And Malin now dialing it up ahead 0-2 the count. So 0-2 the count, Malin against Griffin. That's high for a ball. 1-2 the count.
We talk about response, and we talk about kind of allowing that momentum and passion to motivate us. UCF looking to kind of take that momentum back from Oklahoma State.
1-2. Griffin hits a high fly ball to left, going foul, but it's playable. Oh, and unable to come up with it was Graff, who maybe overran it a little bit there. Actually, that looks like it was Hathoot now in left field.
And good attempt out and left, but yeah, it's always going to find the new girl, Eric, and just a little bit of an overrun right there. You got the wind picking up as well, which definitely plays a factor in these balls, and especially when they're hit high like that.
Now that's Hathoot at left field. That's why Vanessa Shippey had a multiple times checked with the umpire to make sure that Hathoot was in left field. That was what's going on during the inning. So it's a 2-2 count to Griffin. Griffin reaches for him, fouls it off. So what do the Knights got to do here offensively here against Malin?
Put together some good at-bats would definitely help, and they did a good job early in the game, just committing to plans, making her throw strikes. So still looking to do that here. There's not been a whole lot of opportunity to capitalize on these chances when they are on base, but getting base runners to start is going to help with that.
Griffin gets under it, pops it up. And the catch is made for the out. 1 out here in the 6th inning. As Hathoot making the play. First just came into the game in the outfield, 1 out. Now Mertez at the plate. First pitch to Mertez. To strike, it's 0-1 the count. Oh, 0-1 the count to the freshman Mertez. That's in the dirt, and it's a ball. 1-1 the count. One and 1 the count to the freshman Mertez. Trying to get a rally going for the Knights. Malin. On the 0-1. 1-1. Nice look. Ruby Malin trying to preserve the win, would give her 17th win of the year. The pitch, that's fouled off. Now 2 strikes to Mertez. A 2-2 pitch from Malin. Mertes drills one to deep left field.
At a time when hits are few and far between, the ability to leave the yard definitely helps. Izzy Mertes absolutely tattoos that ball. Just off the GMC out there, that ball was hammered.
4th homer of the year, her 25th RBI of the year for the true freshman to tie this up at 2 here in the 6th. Samantha Ray will now hit with 1 out. Woo. Ball 1 to Ray. How's your blood pressure?
Mine's good. How's yours?
It's a little hot right now. I'm sure there's a few as well, whether you're a Knight fan or a Cowgirl fan or just a softball fan. What a game.
We talked about, too, the importance of the momentum and coming back on your side. That's a great way to get that going. A big at-bat by Mertes. Let's see if UCF can keep it.
We sure it's not May?
Close enough.
Feels like mayhem. It's just been a mayhem-type game for a lot of reasons. 2-0 to Ray. This is a strike, 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike to the sophomore Ray. That is missed high, ball 3. 3-1 to count. Boy, you just sensed both teams just competing every pitch in this game, Alex.
I love it. And that's what postseason's going to look like. So both of them having a good head on their shoulders.
That is high, ball 4, and Ray gets on with 1 out. That'll bring up Madison Simon to the plate, at least for now. Let's take a look at that last pitch on Ray.
That was a big pitch for Malin. Just missing up, it looks like, in the slightest bit. A little bit of confusion, wondering why she's not getting that call, but tough spot, good take by Samantha Ray.
So now the senior Madison Simon at the plate. Joe's bunt, pulls back, takes ball 1. If you're wondering, Ray's 6 for 10 this year in stolen bases. And I think Vanessa, and then you got here Carrie Eberle's going to come out, and I think they're going to talk some strategy here, Alex.
Well, you look at the way the game has played out, Eric. There's been 4 runs total in the game, and 2 of those runs that have been scored have been the home run hitter themselves on each side, with Oklahoma State with 1 home run, obviously, and then UCF now with 1. But then you look at the other 2 runs, Eric. You know what those were scored on? People that got on base with a walk.
Yep. That's been the theme this weekend. These teams are so good, it makes you pay. So you got Samantha Ray at first. Does she try to steal? Do you, if you're UCF? You got a ball gotten loose here. You've got Simon, a senior transfer from Oregon State, who of course played in the biggest stage in the sport, the College World Series back in 2022 as a member of Oregon State. She'll be back on that field in a few weeks for the Big 12 championships, but hitting here in a big spot with 1 on, 1 out. Takes a strike there, and it's 1-1. 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors for Oklahoma State. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for UCF. 1-1. That's a strike, and it's 1-2. And if you're wondering, Coco Jaimes is the scheduled hitter on deck. The 1-2 pitch. Got her. Ray went upstairs, or excuse me, Malin went upstairs and gets the big strikeout for the 2nd out of the inning.
Big pitch right there for Ruby Malin. Getting the big swing on that last one. It's a big out, big situation right there, and Maddie Simon with the opportunity, but can't capitalize. And Malin's right back to it.
What a competitor Malin is. First pitch to Jaimez. Seen her live for the first time this weekend. Pitch, uber competitive. Just a junior, which is going to be exciting if you're an Oklahoma State fan, but he is as competitive as it gets. 1-0 in there for a strike. Of course, comes from a family there with her father and of course her grandfather played football in Nebraska. She's got her own journey. Where's number 66 to honor her grandfather? She delivers the pitch. Jaimez with a high chopper. Bloodworth will go to second, not in time. Ray got there. That ball chopped too high. Not really much Bloodworth could do there, but good running by Ray, and the Knights have 2 on, 2 out.
Great job in that at-bat by Coco Jaimez. Just gets it hard on the ground and takes advantage of her speed. Good stuff all around. But Samantha Ray continues to impress on the base path. At least impressed me, Eric. Probably no surprise, but she's just lights out.
She scored back in the second inning from first base on a 2-out RBI single by Aubrey Evans, who's now here at the plate. 2 on, 2 out. First pitch outside, ball 1 to the junior from Apopka Evans. So if nothing else, the Knights have flipped the batting order. They're now back to the top of the order. A big hit for the freshman Jaimez. The 1-0. That's a strike, and it's 1-1 to Aubrey. What's the thinking here on both sides here right now?
Well, if you're Aubrey Evans, you're not thinking a whole lot. You got 2 outs with a big opportunity in front of you. You're just trying to be competitive and hit a good pitch, but Ruby Malin trying to be smart with where she's locating these pitches and not give Evans a big opportunity to drop barrel on something.
Pitch a little outside there, and it's 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Aubrey Evans. That's high, and it's 3-1 to Aubrey Evans. If this inning were to continue, Sierra Humphreys would hit. Got Ray at second, Jaimez at first. The 3-1. Evans up back to Malin, who will throw to first. Tested on the ESPN family of networks, including both championship games. Caitlin Felton delivers first pitch to Warsaw for a ball. 1-0 the count here in the top of the 7th. So Felton here in relief in a 2-2 game. The 1-0. Warsaw bloops one into right. Taylor Kittleman, who came into the game, makes the catch. A big catch for the redshirt freshman Kittleman. 1 gone here in the 7th.
And one thing about softball, the ball's always going to find the new girl. Taylor Kittleman gets her shot there, laying out. Look at the passion, the excitement. So fired up for her pitcher. Felton in the circle. That right there is somebody I want to play with.
Kittleman in right field there. What a time to bring her in. I'm not sure Mertes, for example, would have been able to make that range charging to that ball like Kittleman did. Kittleman's fantastic range in the outfield. Makes a big catch. Delgadillo now at the plate. The 0-1 from Felton. Hit to third. Humphreys is there. Will throw to first in time to retire Delgadillo. 2 gone here in the 7th. Big out there to get Delgadillo. Who's one of the best in getting on base. Now Bloodworth will come to the plate. The 1 big series win for Rich Wallace and UCF baseball. Here, we're at the UCF softball complex. Eric Lopez alongside 2-time All-American Alex Powers and Hannah Russo. It has been a dandy here at the Plex. A 2-2 ball game between the Knights and the Cowgirls. 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors for Oklahoma State. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for UCF. Sierra Humphreys to lead it off here for the Knights in bottom of the 7th against Ruby Malin. Knights got the lead in the second in an RBI single by Aubrey Evans. The Cowgirls got the lead in the sixth on a 2-run homer by Amanda Hasler. The Knights tied it up on a Izzy Mertez homer in the sixth. Humphrey swings and misses. And the count is 0-2. Your thoughts for those that maybe have just joining us from baseball?
There's a lot of excitement out here on the diamond, and it's just really been back and forth, and it is anybody's game right now. Not a whole lot of offensive opportunities. Both pitching staffs doing a phenomenal job. Ruby Malin going the distance so far for the Cowgirls. I expect to see her finish this one out.
Grounded at second, Rosie Davis is there in time to throw out Humphreys for the first out here in the bottom of the seventh. This is a rubber game of this 3-game series. Oklahoma State won game 1 on Thursday night, 7-0, scoring 7 runs in the top of the seventh. Malin pitched a 1-hit shutout that night. UCF responded by scoring 9 runs last night in the bottom of the first, as they would go on to win 12-6 to even the series. Huge ramifications from a conference standing standpoint, ramifications from a resume, from a hosting standpoint, you name it. It's been fun. Kotzelnick now at the plate, who re-enters the game. That's been a topic. In case you're just joining us, Kenny Gajewski was ejected earlier in this ball game with a dispute with the umpires over whether Macy Graff entered the game correctly or not. 1-0 the count to Kotzelnick. And Kotzelnick slices it to left. What's the approach here if you're Kotzelnick and the Night hitters here against Malin late?
Same thing. It doesn't change just because you're within one swing of changing this ball game up, and knowing that if I can get a pitch, if I can drive it somewhere, that could be a difference maker, whether it's me getting on base and potentially in scoring position or me leaving the yard. And so I'm trying to stay disciplined and calm in my approach.
1-1 pitch for Malin. Kotzelnick hits one to center, but Delgado was perfectly placed. Played deep enough and got a good jump on that ball for the out, a loud out for Kotzelnick for the second out here in the seventh.
And that's what you want to see if you're Kotzelnick or UCF at all, is just hitting balls hard. You can't control the outcome. We say it all the time, but it truly is the case. So you just got to stay disciplined, attack pitches when you can, get barrel on stuff consistently, and good things will happen.
Beth Damon coming to the plate. Swings ground ball to short. Bloodworth is there. We'll throw to first, and we will have free softball here in Orlando on this Saturday afternoon. Talon Edwards, top of the order for the Cowgirls against Caitlin Felton. Delivers a strike. Of course, Felton started last night, went the distance through over 150 pitches. And you wonder, of course, came in relief in the sixth. How much does she have in the tank? But as a senior, right, this is what you live for.
Yeah, I mean, I could see her getting the ball until this game is over. You can't teach the fight, you can't teach the competitiveness, and I don't think Caitlin Felton cares how many pitches, how many innings she throws. She wants it to be her because she trusts herself. She has so much confidence out there in the circle, and she knows that she's worked for these kind of opportunities.
A ball and a strike to count to Edwards. It's up high. In fact, during the game last night, we found out in the post game, Coach Bumlin went up there and said, "Can you finish this game?" He's like, "Absolutely. I want the ball."
That's the stuff you can't teach. It's just that inner fight, inner grit that athletes have, at least some of them.
2-1. Flowing outside, 3-1 to Edwards. Edwards has had a good weekend here for the Cowgirls at the top of the order. She'll be followed by Rosie Davis and Amanda Hasler. 1-2-3. 3-1 pitch. It's a slow grounder to short. Evans is there. Will throw to first in time to get Edwards for the first out here in the top of the eighth. Got to bring up Rosie Davis to the plate.
Number 26, Rosie Davis.
All Big 12 performer freshman a year ago, Davis. Steps in here with one out. Felton delivers a strike, and it's 0-1. What's it like to be involved in a game like this where now you're going to extra innings where the winner takes the series?
Exciting. I mean, there's nothing better in moments like this than being in these high-pressure situations, because it's the fun part, just the back-and-forth, nitty-gritty fight.
How do you calm yourself to stay within the plan and not get too hyped or emotional in a situation where maybe some players try to be a hero at times in extra innings? Maybe try to do too much.
I don't know if there's a right answer, but it is just management of those emotions, because they're going to be there. The butterflies exist. The nervousness exists. It's just, how do I learn how to compete? And until you're in moments like this directly, it's hard to practice it. You can't really replicate these kind of feelings, this kind of pressure. So just get yourself in the moments and try to go from there.
A ball and 2 strikes to Rosie Davis. Felton delivers up high, 2-2. But these are the moments, right? You'll always remember. These are the moments you probably miss right now. You know, you're retired as a player. These are the type of games and moments you miss as a player, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the stuff that, like I said, you can't replicate it. And so knowing that, hey, these are quite literally the opportunities of a lifetime, because they're going to be few and far between the rest of your regular career, right? And the profession that you choose. And I talk a little bit about with some people that have played at the highest level in college professionally. I've spoken to college athletes that are currently in kind of their careers in the middle of them, and just try to tell them, hey, you don't get opportunities like this to be surrounded by this many like-minded people. Enjoy it while you can.
Davis fouls that pitch off. The count remains 3-2 here at the top of the 8th. And what has been a wild series back and forth between 2 great teams trading haymakers. Did she go around? They appeal. No swing, and Davis gets on via the walk with 1 out here in the 8th. Big walk for the sophomore. And that'll bring up Amanda Hasler now to the plate. Remember, it was Davis who walked against Lopez in the 6th to set up that 2-run homer from Hasler. Vanessa Shippey making the moves here. I would assume kind of the interim coach with Kenny Gajewski ejected. Greg Bergeron at 3rd base, coach. Taking over for Kenny. So now Hasler hit the 2-run homer in the 6th with 1 on, 1 out. First pitch in the dirt, runner goes. Throw to second from Damon is safe. Davis gets a big steal, her 8th of the year, and gets herself into scoring position at second with 1 out.
Both of these teams know that any opportunity you can get to get somebody in scoring position is a big one, and that changeup, the dirt ball read there, great job on the bases by Davis. Takes advantage.
1-0. Fouled off. Count is 1-1. This crowd has been locked in on this game since the first pitch. A game that's going over approaching 2 hours, 40 minutes. The 1-1. A little high, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to count to Amanda Hasler. The 2-1. That ball is hit to deep left, and that ball is back at the track. A huge hit for Hasler.
Amanda Hasler did it her last at bat, does it again, drives this one. Man, big part of the park. That's the stuff, the moments, the pressure. You can't teach it. That's what you call clutch.
Amanda Hasler is the only one that's been able to solve the UCF pitching today with 2 hits, both hits coming with 2-run homers. And it's a 4-2 lead for Oklahoma State here in the 8th. Godwin now at the plate. Pitch strike, and it's 0-1 to Godwin. One now to the sophomore Godwin. That's hit to third. Humphreys is there. One hop, not handled by Griffin. One hop throw by Humphreys, not able to handle there by Griffin. First error of the ball game to UCF. And it's a runner at first and one out.
Momentum right now on the side of the Cowgirls, but big play, big opportunity there. Sierra Humphreys tries to leverage, throw in the dirt there, knowing that she can give Griffin a nice little one hop, but Griffin just looks like she stretches a smidge too early. Can't come up with a pick.
Knight's trying to regroup here in the circle. The momentum now back on Oklahoma State's side here in the 8th inning. Godwin step in with runner.
First base, number 42, Tara Vanderwater.
And naturally Vanderwater now to pinch run. Tara Vanderwater to pinch run for Godwin. Michaela Work at the plate. She takes ball 1-0 the count. Trying to get out of this jam. There's the 1-0. Strike, and it's 1-1. One ball, one strike to count. Work pops it up. Griffin in fair territory makes the catch for the second out here in the 8th inning. It's like you said, the ball always seems to find you.
Always.
2 gone now. Rachel Hathout come to the plate.
No better number 1, Rachel Hathout.
What do you see from Felton? That's a strike. It's 0-1. What are you seeing from Felton?
She's just missing some pitches. I think more than anything is she's leaving some of her pitches that she typically has a lot of success on and with over the white of the plate a little bit too much, which is allowing some of these Oklahoma State hitters to get that barrel driven deep on those balls. And just, again, it's a game of such small adjustments. People say inches, it's often less than that. And so I say compete and battle all the time, but it really is that pitch by pitch, because the smallest error on your part could lead to a big result.
Be on Wednesday in DeLand. The Stetson Hatters and the UCF Knights playing in DeLand. Shelly Robinson Cousins done a great job there at Stetson. They're in the mix there in the A-Sun. And the Knights, of course, will be home next weekend for senior weekend. Ashley Griffin to lead it off for the Knights here at the bottom of the 8th against Ruby Malin. Will be followed by Mertez and Samantha Ray, your scheduled night hitters. 5, 6, 7 against Malin. 4 runs, 2 hits, no errors for Oklahoma State. 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for UCF. Griffin is ahead of the count 2-0. Pitch to Griffin. That's missed, and it's 3-0. So 3 balls, no strikes to captain redshirt junior Griffin, who, along with Caitlin Felton, are the remaining 2 players on that 2022 team that won the regular season and conference tournament title in the American, hosted a regional on this very field for the first time in program history, and won the program's first ever regional. Griffin hit a home run in the championship game to highlight that victory. She takes a strike here, and the count is 3-2.
Lots of fight, lots of opportunity left for this UCF team. They just can't give up. Gotta stay the course. And committed to the process here. Still a big opportunity ahead of them.
Griffin fouls it off. Ashley Griffin here. Regardless of what happens the rest of the way here, these 2 teams, I think, leave this series better teams. They both got tested to the limit here. And who knows, they could see each other again come in a few weeks at the Big 12 Championship. That's low ball 4, and Griffin draws a leadoff walk for the Knights here at the bottom of the 8th.
I think that's a great point, Eric, is you're not necessarily just playing for right now, which of course you are, because the win-loss column is really important, especially your conference standings with both of these teams neck and neck, but you're also fighting to see what your team is made of, because the next couple of weeks is when it matters most.
If a series like this doesn't get you ready, I don't know what will. Alexis Morgan's going to come out and pitch run for Griffin here in the bottom of the 8th. And Izzy Mertez will come to the plate with 1 on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th in a 2-run game. It was the 6th inning when Mertez took Malin deep to tie the game up. They got Morgan at first. There's Mertez. First pitch, and Malin delivers a strike, and it's 0-1 to count. The 0-1 from Malin. A clutch double for Mertez.
Izzy Mertez was clutch back in the 6th. She's clutch again, drives that one. Big part of the park, love that approach. Just stays right up the middle, hits it hard out to Delgadillo in center field. It gets by her, and then Morgan, so much speed on base path too. No doubt on that one. As soon as it got by Delgadillo that she was scoring. Talk about clutch responses. UCF's not giving up yet.
What a fight, what a game. If you don't like softball, I don't know what's wrong with it. There's something wrong with it. That's clearly something.
What is the ESPN shirt saying? There's people that don't love softball, or I'm sorry, there's people that love softball, but then there's people that don't know that they love softball yet.
Amen. Lots of moving pieces here. Mertez stays in at second. I know there was some conversation there. Of course, Stacy Pestrak, UCF assistant coach at first base, was longtime assistant at Oklahoma State under Kenny Gajewski. They, of course, knew each other from Florida. They were part of Tim Walton's staff when they won the national title in 14 and 15, and Kenny Gajewski decided to bring her along to Stillwater to build that success they've had in Stillwater. She's now here at UCF. Ray at the plate takes ball one. Now the big question is, if you're UCF, and I'm sure it was part of the conversation, is do you sacrifice Ray to try to get the tying run to third with less than 2 outs? 1-0 from Malin. That's a strike, and it's 1-1.
I guess we'll see what Coach Bob Malone does, but I'm going to say no on this one just because Samantha Ray is such, typically, knock on wood, a good hitter with hand-eye coordination and her ability to pull the ball too. Being a left-handed hitter, this is a situation you want to be in.
Well, any chance of a sacrifice just went out there with that swing. Big strike there for Malin. It's 1-2.
The benefit of being on the left side in the batter's box too is knowing that it's much easier to pull a ball than it is to try to be disciplined enough to hit it the other way. Patience takes discipline. Pulling it, you just got to get something you can handle.
Ray bloops one to right, but quickly coming in, and a big catch is made there by Warsaw. I believe is the catch there. Ray pops up, runner holds it second, and a big catch there by Warsaw, who got a good read on that ball in right field. 1 out, and they're gonna re-enter now. Kendall Yarnell will re-enter and hit here. She started the game and then was pulled and now gets to re-enter. And she will hit for Madison Simon. And you better believe everybody's checking their lineups. So runner at second and 1 out. So Ray unable to advance the runner to third there. And now the young freshman, Yarnell. Her father played football, played in arena football for many years. It's a cousin who's playing in Major League Baseball, reliever with the Angels. Now she gets a chance to hit against Malin. Takes first pitch, ball one. 1-0 the count to Yarnell. The 1-0 pitch. There's a strike for Malin. It's 1-1 the count. Yarnell struck out against Malin back in the second inning. She takes that one high, 2-1 the count. It's unique. She starts the game, gets an at-bat, gets pulled, now gets brought back in.
Yeah, I think that's the right move too. Just again, you look at opportunity here, and she obviously got the start for a reason. So trying to get the back in her hand, back in her hands when it matters most.
She hits a grounder to second, knocked down by Davis. She'll go to first in time to get Yarnell. Mertez advances to third on the play, but there's 2 outs now here in the 8th, and it comes down to Coco Jaimes, who singled in her last at-bat, but will hit here, looks like, or will she? We'll see. Yeah, I think it's going to be her. Coach Malone's giving her signs here, message here, with Mertez, her fellow freshman, at third base. And that's why that not able to advance her to third looms big, although again, you never know how the sequences would have gone. Nice job by Davis too, keeping her cool there, not rushing the play after that ball kind of took that hop.
Absolutely, that's a good point too, Eric. Just again, composure, maturity out there on the field. Good job, and good recovery by Davis.
Jaimes takes high, ball one. 1-0 the count.
For Coco Jaimes, all you're looking to do right now is compete in the box. No pressure is on you. You just have to go out there and put together a good at-bat.
Takes there low, 2-0 the count. It's 2-0.
If I can think as a hitter about taking that pressure off of myself, that's when I can alleviate that kind of stress and thought process of trying to force something, swinging at bad pitches, getting out of my zone. Just keep it simple in the box.
Swings to that one and fouls it off. It's 2-1. If Jaimes were to extend it, Aubrey Evans would get a chance to hit. But right now, the game's down to Jaimes against Malin with the runner at third. 2-1 to count. Here at the bottom of the 8th and a 4-3 lead for Oklahoma State. The 2-1 from Malin. Imus slices it foul, and the Knights are down to the last strike. The 2-2 from Malin at 11 of the Big 12, but both of these teams left it on the field. This is one of those games, Alex, where